Start from the beginning. Hello and welcome, viewers. And we are back, myself, June, and Funny, back with another video for all the aspiring teachers as well as for all the ongoing teachers. But before we start this video, I would like to wish all our viewers a very happy Diwali. And, just a little bit explanation for all our international viewers, as today all over India, we are celebrating the Dhanteras, which is the time to pray for abundance and prosperity. And then tomorrow it's the festival of the lights, and also the worship of our goddess Lakshmi. So that's why this is how all I am dressed as. We're supposed to dress ethnic, and the festival starts from today by lighting candles and diyas. So Funny, wishing you a very happy Diwali and our viewers as well.
Yes,
And it's
June.
good to see you.
Wish you and your all our viewers a very happy Diwali.
Thank you, Funny. So what's the topic for today's video? Now, I'm not going to reveal the topic. However, I'm going to ask some questions, and the questions will be asked to my partner, Funny. Funny, can you see the screen? Can you see this picture?
Oh yes, a group of people
Right.
discussing.
Yes, group of people discussing, but can you just, focus a bit more and tell me that what exactly, they are talking about? What do you think their mood or their perception is?
Hmm. Maybe they are discussing about learning something new.
All right, how do you know that they are discussing about something to learn, which is new in nature? Can you give me an example?
Oh yes, people are discussing we can learn the best and when it is useful, and they are discussing about the sides, considering all sides to the problem. Maybe they are finding a solution, innovative solution to a problem.
All right. Do you feel that whatever they are talking about, as in their thoughts, which they are sharing among themselves, do you think that it's quite justified?
It's a very casual kind of discussion.
Mm-hmm. All right. And do you think that these kind of discussions are seen among little ones?
No,
No.
not at all.
So, okay. So, what do you think the age of these people might be?
All are mature adults who are discussing very
Right.
key issues related to them.
Right. Mature or not mature, we don't know. So let's not get into that, but definitely they are adults. Yes. So they are talking about definitely, about something that they feel they can learn the best, whether the subject or whatever they are talking about is useful or not in the, in real life, whether it is practical, do they get an opportunity to actually, do some hands-on practice and all of that. So today's topic is all about adult teaching. In other words, andragogy. So andragogy, just like pedagogy. So pedagogy is all about teaching techniques, right? However, it's more towards generic teaching and teaching young learners and primary school where the pedagogy comes into picture. And if you see this slide, viewers, you will see that the difference between the pedagogy and the andragogy, that in pedagogy, the content, the subject plays a very important role, and there's all learners around. That means the subject is there and you will have to learn. That's it. There's no questioning. It's there and you are learning, period. Now, andragogy, the learner is at the center, which means the learner decides what he or she wishes to learn. And therefore, the content comes into picture, which means that when I decide what I want to do, and then, I'm going to look into the matter. So it's not that the matter is presented to the adult and the adult will have to do it and they cannot question, because for them, they will decide what they want to learn. So that's the difference between pedagogy and andragogy, in other words, adult teaching. and adult learning. So these are some basic differences. You don't have to really learn by heart. Now, one of the intention for me to do this video, that is a lot of teachers as well as my ex-trainees, and they keep asking me that, June, do you have anything for us in regards to adult teaching or adolescents? Because that's the domain that we really struggle to understand the psyche and to, to penetrate through the minds and to able to win their minds and keep them focused in the lesson. Yes, I do agree that teaching adults can be far more challenging than teaching young learners. So one of the reasons why I chose to make this video, and that is to touch upon the points about what adult learning is really all about and what are the factors that you must remember and you must take it into consideration before I share a basic or standard lesson plan for adult teaching and learning. Yes, please keep an eye, because our next video will be on lesson plans that you can execute to adult learners as well as for adolescents. Those will be just some samples. You can always modify, you can create your own based on samples. And with this note, I would also like to request that viewers, thank you for your subscription for all this time. So all those who have not subscribed, I will request you to kindly subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to click on the bell icon. And those who are already supporting us with the subscription, thank you very much. So here are the basic differences. That andragogy is all about self-directed learner. That means adult is instinctively motivated, they know what they want to do, whereas in pedagogy, learners is solely dependent on the decision of the teacher, whatever he or she is taught in the school. In andragogy, large amount of life experiences matter. That means all of us adults, it's just not about the degrees that we have with us, but it's more of the life experiences that we accumulate throughout our life, throughout the journey, both in the professional and the personal life. And those becomes very, very enriching and a very, very valuable resources for adult learners, where the facilitator must also take into consideration their life experiences. Pedagogy, I'm not saying that young learners don't have any life experiences. They do, but it's very controlled, very limited, and they are mostly, in the protective environment. Adult learners, as we know, that they're very close to the social roles, whereas young learners, they need that a dictator. They need to be told as what needs to be done, what are the protocols, what are the do's and don'ts. And adults, they're very problem centered. They have the problem, so what they're looking for is they're looking for a solution, if that solution is practical or not. And pedagogy, it is all about the subject and the matter, and everything revolves around that. And about the motivation, I have already discussed it before. So let's move on to our next slide. This is for your knowledge, and you must know that who propounded adult teaching, and that is adult learning is propounded by, as in the adult learning principles. The core principles are propounded by Malcolm Noel, and these are his principles. And this came into, into the picture in 1980s. So here, what are the factors that you must remember when you're dealing with an adult? That is, learners need to know, okay, they really need to know what they are learning and why they are learning and what are they going to do next with it. Now, self-concept of the learner. So they have this concept, which is very important for the learner, their prior experiences, and their readiness to learn, as in that how important, as in if they are willing and ready to learn. Orientation to learning. So it's very important that they must have the right orientation and motivation to learn as well. So this is the theory and assumptions. Now, viewers, I am not going to say that you have to really get into the details of this theory and assumptions, but it's always recommended that you know them. I'm not saying that you have to know them by heart, but it's always good to know them. When you see the points, that is adults, see, these are very common, and it's basically very common sense, because adults, whenever you're teaching them, please remember one very basic and important tool, that is why they are learning this. So whenever you recommend them and you tell them, and this, or this is how you need to do, you have to tell them why. So the why factor becomes very crucial for adults. And all of the other points we have covered already. As you see, that it is related to self-direction, then it's related to their life and work experience, and how how the matter should be problem centered, and about the motivational factors. So the characteristics of the learners, as in the adult learners, again, we really don't have to follow the slide, viewers. You know, you are being an adult, you know exactly how we are. As an adult, you see, we have our own motivation. And for example, if I'm doing this video, nobody said that, June, you have to do this video. I am doing this video, Funny is doing video because we want to, and we have the reason. So those reasons is something that we have discovered over a period of time by talking to people, and we have seen that there is a need. So again, here there is no compulsion. So adults are all, mostly they are motivation. They have this high motivation with them. They're very pragmatic. They want to know, how it's really as an whatever they are learning, how it is directly related to the real life experience or to the world. One of the challenges that you will face if you are teaching adults or any adolescents, that is the resistance to change. And yes, this is something that can be challenging, but it is not impossible. So since they have a lot of experiences and their preconceived notions are there, they have certain set of rules and thoughts. So initially, you might have to break the ice, judiciously. And it is also a message for all the adult learners that they must have an open mind. That is very important. And that's why in any training, we always say that emptying the cup is absolutely crucial. And now it's about the past experiences. And the past experiences, sometimes instead of becoming valuable resources for them, that can be hindrance, because maybe in the past they've had some unpleasant experiences, and when they see that something is similar, so they might be very, a tight fist. So again, there you have to really know the psyche, and you have to measure your step, and do not rush in. Don't try to convince them. You have to acknowledge what their views, and just request them that, they must also just, they can try it, a new thought, a new perspective. There's no harm in trying. However, if an adult strictly, straight refuses and said, no, I am not doing that. Like in my training, I have faced where some of them said, no, 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 June, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. For me, I have just asked them once, there's any particular reason. So whatever the reasons were, I have respected them, and I've said that, okay, in the future, if you want to, if you wish to give it a try, you may come and let me know. Other than that, you can just sit there and, without participating, you can observe um, how others are experiencing in the process. All right. And last but not the least, you see, adult always aims to have an immediate result, because they have a purpose behind their learning. So they can question you that how early they can put their knowledge into practice, or how early they can actually start, they can start reaping from their knowledge in the real life through professional practice. So you have to keep that in mind. Yeah. So these are some of the characteristics of adults. Now the life cycle. Now this is one of the most important part of this video, the life cycle. So this life cycle, it actually encompasses of these four areas, which is about concrete experience and reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. So there goes a little story. And yes, funny, we can move on to the next slide. So while I'm narrating this story, if the viewers want to read the next slide, they are more than welcome to do so because the story is there on the next slide itself. So this is about a boy. So let's say, a bicycle was gifted to a boy by his parents, and he's so excited because he wanted this bicycle all this time because all his friends own a bicycle. So soon after receiving it, he immediately takes the bicycle out for a ride, and oops, what happens? He just, he meets with an accident. Very sudden, he gains a very concrete experience by hurting his leg. So that's a very concrete, it's very measurable. Okay, so that's one. So in the process to try something new, you bump into something which is so concrete and you can actually measure the pain. And because of this one incident, immediately, you want to think about it. And the conclusion that you draw is that it was not a very pleasant experience and how it all happened. So overall, I was so excited, but then this led to something so unpleasant and you know not so encouraging. So what do I do? So after the concrete experience, when I do some reflective observation, I actually decide that I'm not going to try that bicycle anymore. I'm not going to go out for a ride. Now this kind of conclusion is baseless, and we call it very abstract conceptualization because it really doesn't make sense. That it doesn't mean that by if he actually takes out his bicycle, the next time he will meet with an accident again. So this is very abstract. Then what happens is over the period of time when the little boy sees that all his friends are actually, they're enjoying the ride on their cycle, and if the friends tell them that, hey, you know what, you should also come with your bicycle to schools, you already have one, and you can have so much fun with it. So he thinks about it, and then he decides that, yes, actually, this is not a solution. Me not riding on the bicycle is not a solution. So maybe I can take a middle path. Perhaps my parents can help me and they can, hold my shirt while I'm actually trying to paddle. And they can do that for a couple of minutes. And then I can try on my own couple of minutes. And we can continue with this practice for a few days till I gain my confidence. So this is actually the life cycle of, how an adult perceives a new concept, the probabilities, and the final results. So yes, viewers, if you can remember this, it's very important. Do make a note of it and try and keep this in mind. So now what the next that we are going to look into it is that how important action is for adults. That is how important a group interaction is, because yeah, adults might want to enjoy to work by themselves, and all kind of arrangements should be provided, but they really love the group interactions because group interaction has a lot of benefits, starting from developing your leadership qualities, to build a group camaraderie, to realize your own potential, your strengths as well as weaknesses, to develop patience, as well as achievement of a higher level of quality of performances and the decision making skills. So all that one can experience and can acquire and can build through group interactions. Next, we will see that how adults learn, as in what are the learning factors. So adults, they you know just like young learners, adults also have the same learning styles, like auditory, kinesthetic, visual. It is nothing but how you learn the best. So if I'm a visual learner, yes, 98% of the population are all visual learners. So visual learners are those learners who want to have a visuals in front of them. And that's how, by seeing, they learn the best. Some would learn the best by listening. However, when I say that some would learn the best by listening, that it does not mean that if you show them a visual, they will learn less. No, we all learn through all the three learning styles, but one particular learning style shall be a dominant factor. Okay, so you have to incorporate all of these styles into your training and to your teaching when you are, training or teaching adults. And now we will be talking about multiple intelligences as well. So in multiple intelligences, by Howard Gardner, so there are 8 intelligences, and multiple intelligences is not just about adult teaching only or adult learning. It is also applicable for pedagogical use as well. So all the multiple intelligence that includes from starting from visual, spatial, you have kinesthetic, you have intrapersonal skills, interpersonal skills, and all of the others like naturalist and mathematical, logical. Now I have prepared 2 3 videos on multiple intelligences exclusively, as well as on integration of multiple intelligences and Bloom taxonomy. You can all have a look and you can choose from the playlist. This is to just tell you that you have to take the multiple intelligences into consideration. So moving on to our next slide. So this is nothing but just a quick recapitulation, and it's all about adult, principles. They're uh, adults learning. See, remember, adolescents or adults, okay? Whatever you're teaching them, they will question you about their personal benefits. So teachers and trainers, please be ready with the answers. They will question you that, they have a different experiences. So they are not open to all of the suggestions or the ideas that you might have to offer. So again, trainers and facilitators and teachers, you have to keep in mind that you have to acknowledge and you have to tell them that yes, all of their experiences in the professional or in the academical as well as on a personal grounds are definitely a very useful resources, and that's what make them what they are. However, life is all about different experiences, and a wise person and a true seeker will always be have an open mind to adopt and to embrace new experiences. Now, it may so happen that the experience might not suit me and I want to go back to my own experiences and my own belief, which is perfectly all right. But to actually, give the first attempt to try something new should be, taken into consideration, and that you need to convey to them politely. Please ensure that they have a certain direction already, and that's why they are in the program. So please take that into consideration, find out what are their future plans, what is exactly that they are looking from the program or from the training. And then you have to fit in with the right amount of whatever you're teaching them. Ensure you give them enough space, enough time to apply during the program and to do some action. So action as in group interaction, or you can buddy them. It's very, very important. You can actually divide that based on the total time you will have for teaching and training. And last but not the least is the individual learning styles that you have to take it into consideration, whether it's andragogy or pedagogy. So yes, that is all for your adult learning in this video, and we are going to be back with the sample on lesson plan, where we are going to talk about 2 lesson plan. You will see that what kind of topic you need to keep in mind, and what are the approaches, how you can divide the section of the lesson plan. So viewers, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to share your valued comment in the comment section, and definitely suggest us something more that we can do for you in the near future. And with this, I'm sure, Funny, you found the content of adult teaching fruitful, because I know you have always been interested in teaching adults, solely adults.
Yeah, oh yes, this content was really useful, and I'll take into account all these things while preparing my lessons.
I'm going to look forward for your feedback soon after you have executed in the class. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us and for being with us, and wishing all our viewers a happy Diwali once again. And yeah, keep tuned in. And also just a little note, that is that if you want to follow me on the Facebook, yes, I'm there on the Facebook as well as Jumur Chattopadhyay, and I have a Facebook page as Bright Minds and Radiant Souls, where all the videos and more lesson plans, and a lot of informative ideas are shared in regards to teaching both young learners and adult learners, as well as you can also be a part of our Facebook group, which is exclusively for the teachers or anybody who's associated into educational field, and that is called Teachers Hub. So yes, you can all join in. So yes, thank you. Have a great long weekend, and we're going to be back soon again.